What's going on, guys? A lot of viewers already. What's going on, TJ?
Hi.
Well, I'm going to mute the volume here on the music. All right, so we have a lot of new injury news. Well, not a lot, but a lot to impact the slate. So the video that you guys were watching this morning on me giving out my favorite plays is now irrelevant. We are going a completely different direction.
Scratch it.
Yes, completely scratch it, and don't roast me in the morning when you play Eric Bledsoe tonight. So, all right, thumbnail.
Yeah, man, I started Eric Bledsoe last night, and he got me 0 fantasy points. Why would you give him as a play?
I honestly, like, at this point, I feel like somebody would actually say that to me.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But what's going on, guys? Happy Monday. I am happy to be back with TJ. TJ took a small break for whatever reason. Decided to go golfing. I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I was golfing yesterday. It was too nice up here to not, and I was still in a pretty miserable mood from Saturday night, unfortunately. So it's best to step away.
Yeah, we went over that story. If you guys did not hear about it.
I listened to your story, man. It was a little off.
A little off? Yeah, I know I got some of the details wrong, but the main point is that you lost by 0.25 in the qualifier.
Yeah, the main point is I lost.
So that's all that really matters.
But you said it was the Bogdanovich thing.
Yeah.
Like, it was 4 minutes left. He got a rebound, and then on that possession, buried a three. And I was at the bar with my buddy, and he got the rebound. And I was like, he's going to pull up from three. And then we sat there and stared at the game cast because it wasn't on at the bar, and all of a sudden it said Bogdanovich hit a three. And I went to DraftKings, and 0.25 points later, I was dead.
Yeah. Did you say
Thank
dead?
God, because I just drank my face off, and I needed to.
Yeah.
Like, to be close to qualifying for that, like a live event, and that was absolutely brutal. And that Sixers game almost went to OT. It doesn't matter. It's over with.
It's over with. You still won money from it, so I mean, you can't complain completely.
Yeah, right.
But I know that a loss like that is devastating. I've never been that close to that amount of money, so and then have it just taken away from you. But guys, we have a 3-game slate to break down here. It's going to be very straightforward. As of right now, it's the most straightforward slate we've had in a pretty long time. I know we've had a lot of crazy injury news on other slates, but this one is the craziest of them all, I feel like. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. We started a little bit late because we're going to get through this pretty quick, and then we'll open up for some questions. And then again, like we normally do, we'll come back with 15 minutes to answer any questions. But like I said, you guys shouldn't have too many. This is going to be very straightforward. TJ, Milwaukee Bucks. Do you want to go ahead and take it away?
So I want to wait and see what the starting lineup is for the Bucks. Unfortunately, that game doesn't start at 9, so we can really only go off intuition. Right now, I'm seeing Dante at point guard, Wes Matthews, Middleton, Ilyasova, and Brook Lopez.
Real quick, percentage ownership updated, so go ahead and just update your page in case you were wondering.
Yep. So yeah, I kind of want to see what they start. I would assume it would be that starting 5, and then Marvin Williams, like he did yesterday, plays more minutes than Ilyasova off the bench. But yeah, for me tonight, it's how many bucks can I get into a lineup. So right now we got the news that Bledsoe is now doubtful. So with Bledsoe, George Hill, and Giannis off the court, Middleton gets a 13.5% usage bump, averages 1.92 fantasy points per minute, and garnishes 39.5. He has a 39.5% usage rate. He's a 10.04 on our sheet. I currently have him projected for 76.27 DraftKings points. My assumption is that Chris Middleton will be 100% owned tonight in cash lineups. Matt, I think you can agree with me on that.
Yeah.
And GPPs, he'll probably be like 80%. So if you want leverage in GPPs, fade Middleton. I wouldn't do it, but if you want to try and find some leverage on the field, I guess you could try and do that. Brook Lopez gets an 8.5% usage bump, averages 1.08 fantasy points per minute, projected at 29 minutes right now. 26% usage rate, actually. So I really like Brook Lopez at 5,100. Dante DiVincenzo, another lock at 4,800, projected at 30 minutes right now. Gets a 6.4% usage rate, averages 1.1 fantasy points per minute, rates out to a 7.3 on our sheet. So I definitely like Dante. I think those are the 3 guys that I like the most are Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Dante. Ilyasova is the confusing one. 4,600, obviously got the price bump. Him and Marvin Williams were both at the bare minimum yesterday at 3K. Marvin Williams obviously played more minutes than Ilya off the bench. Ilya's at 4,600. Marvin Williams is at 5,000. So Ilyasova projected at 20 minutes right now. He actually gets an 8.5% usage bump with Giannis, George Hill, and Bledsoe off the court. Averages 1.41 fantasy points per minute. Now, that was only an 111-minute sample size. So, actually, hold on. Let me just double-check that number. It was in 116 minutes. So that's like actually a pretty decent sample size, surprisingly. I don't know if you agree with me on that, Matt. But so I don't know if Ilyasova will carry a lot of ownership in terms of cash. But I definitely like him for GPPs, even if he plays 20 minutes. I mean, that 1.41 in the 116 minutes kind of stands out to me. And the usage bump is there too. So I definitely don't hate Illy. I don't know if I'll have him in cash, but for GPPs, definitely like him. The other guy, Pat Connaughton, 3,100, 22 minutes right now, projected for 0.96 fantasy points per minute, only a 12% usage rate. So I'm not crazy on him, but I wouldn't mind rostering him at 3,100 tonight. Wes Matthews at 3,100 also. He'll probably see 30-ish minutes. Actually gets a usage decrease and only averages 0.6 fantasy points per minute with all those guys off the court. So not a high usage rate guy, not a high fantasy point per minute guy, but the minutes will be there. So I wouldn't mind him as a pump play. I think I'd rather go Connaughton just because I think he's more productive, even though he'll probably play a significantly less amount of minutes. But for me currently, I think Middleton, Brook Lopez, and Dante are going to be my absolute locks for cash. I'll probably end up getting one or maybe two more of them in cash. And I think somebody just asked, am I afraid of them getting blown out? No, I'm not.
Yeah, so a few things to cover for Milwaukee. First, guys, if the stream is giving you troubles, I just checked. It looked, for some reason, it always happens at the beginning of the streams. I don't know why it's at the very beginning. It looks like it's good now. Let me know if it gives you troubles. Again, no skipped screens for me. Usually it gives me a warning whenever there's skipping in my stream. But right now it looks fine. So let me know, guys. Also, let us know if the audio is good. Yeah, TJ, I completely agree with you. And you also said fade Chris Middleton if you want leverage. I think it's just at this point, Chris Middleton is such a good play. And we just talked about, his ability to handle the ball whenever Giannis is off the court. But now you add Bledsoe to that mix. He should be taking almost every shot in this game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he carries near a 40-50% usage rate tonight strictly against Denver. I think, if you're playing single entry, first of all, you have to have him. If you're playing GPPs, right now the field is showing 74% owned on Middleton. I'm going to be overweight on 74% just to show you how optimistic I am on Middleton. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go crazy, you can fade him. I don't recommend it. Again, a lot of people are afraid of Denver in this pace down spot for Milwaukee. They're projected usually around 118. I think that's what their season average is. It's disgusting. But guys, right now, 107 for this roster, it does not matter. I mean, there's so much usage. When you take Bledsoe out of the picture, so much to go around. Like you said, Middleton, DiVincenzo, I won't even repeat everything you just said. Lopez with their usage. Connaughton looks great. Again, you can get away with starting 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of these guys if you can make it work. I mean, there's just so much usage to go around. Against Denver, not afraid of the blowout. Vegas projects them not being in a blowout game, so I'm going to stick with that logic. Vegas knows best. So again, guys, lock and load these guys if you're going to play cash, if you're going to play GPP. I mean, this is the most obvious stack on the slate. We're going to touch base on a couple other teams, but I think this is your starting point. Start with these guys. Do not look back. I think you deploy all these guys with plenty of confidence. The only thing that can stop these guys is foul trouble at this point or an injury. And then I'll just go ahead and move on from there. Denver, do you want to talk about Denver? Is there anybody that interests you from Denver, TJ?
Well, I mean, tonight's going to be an easy night to pay up because you're going to get value in Dante. Brook Lopez is pretty cheap too. And then if you do go down and pay for like Pat Connaughton, and then even Middleton, more like the high end mid tier, it's going to allow you to pay up for somebody like Nikola Jokic or Trae Young tonight. Pretty tough deciphering which one you'd want to go with. I think right now the ownership is more on the side of Jokic opposed to Trae Young. Trae Young obviously still coming off that sickness or whatever he had, the illness, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, I'm not really in love with any Nuggets, to be honest with you. If I had to take one, it would probably be Jokic at 9,500, 1.42 fantasy points per minute. So that's definitely something I like. Pretty decent matchup against Brook Lopez. Like Will Barton got the price bump at 6K after he had a really strong game. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really in love with any of these Nuggets. I think stacking, obviously Milwaukee, and then I have some other places that I think I'd rather get to. But yeah, if I'm spending up tonight, I wouldn't mind Nikola Jokic, but I don't think I'll get there in cash.
Tonight almost forces you to go stars and scrubs, even though you don't like these pay up options. I completely agree with you. So like if you're stacking Milwaukee, there's some obvious 3K plays that could obviously pay off, like Wesley Matthews and DiVincenzo's really cheap, and then even who am I missing? Connaughton, that's who I'm missing. Yeah. So like you can play those guys, but then it almost forces you to pay up for these guys like Jokic. Yeah, Jokic obviously is in a good spot because there's a good matchup, but at 9.5, I mean, you can go either way with him. So I feel like his percentage ownership at 40% makes sense just because there's going to be so many combinations and they're going to have to include Jokic. I get it. So Jokic, we're only going to recommend because of his ownership, I feel like at this point. Obviously the matchup, he has a decent amount of upside, but on any other night, I would be like, okay, Jokic could be an outside GPP option. But right now he's showing at 40%. I'm not even going to talk about these other guys. I like these other teams a lot more. Jamal Murray, sure, we know his upside. 7K, obviously his price is a little too high for me usually to get on that. Millsap is always in the mix, but 24 minutes, you guys know I don't like playing anybody under 25 minutes regardless of how good they are. Just, it kind of destroys their upside from that point. So let's go ahead and move on, TJ. I think I know you're going to want to talk about here. I'm going to go with Charlotte. Charlotte has some interesting plays. Let's go ahead and go there.
Yeah, so I just want to touch base. I don't necessarily think tonight is stars and scrubs. I kind of like some of these mid-tier guys, like better than Trae Young.
And I do too, yeah.
Yeah, but I personally think like in cash, I'll be very comfortable leaving like $500 to $700 on the table and putting out a lineup that I'm just as confident in as if I were, spending up on places. So I think that's kind of the route that I'll be taking. But yeah, so we have Charlotte on the road. I mean, I'm never going to doubt Charlotte again. They are clearly amazing. They put up, 112 against Denver when their over was 98.5. I said they wouldn't score 80. They almost scored 80 at half. No, that's not true. But yeah, playing Atlanta, favorable matchup for the guards. I'm definitely looking at Devontae Graham. 1.02 fantasy points per minute, garnishes a 24% usage rate. I would definitely save the 200 and go with Graham over a guy like Terry Rozier. He's played 34 and 32 minutes his last couple games. He's been productive, 23 and 24 points. So Devontae Graham in this nice matchup against the Atlanta guards is definitely somebody that I want to target. I could probably tell you right now he will most likely end up in my cash lineup. So that's definitely where I'm looking. Besides that, I don't really have too much interest in some of these guys, more like GPP plays like Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, Terry Rozier. Like I just like the over under. Obviously it's only a 3-game slate, so there aren't too many places to go. And all of these games are so condensed in terms of over unders. Like Atlanta and Charlotte's at 223, Denver and Milwaukee's at 222, and then Utah and Toronto's at 225. So there's no real standout game. Like a Washington, Atlanta or something like that. We know Charlotte plays at a super slow pace. They're the slowest paced team in the NBA at home and on the road. So just overall in general, they love to slow the game down. But Atlanta at home is actually the third fastest paced team in the NBA. So I expect Charlotte to kind of play on Atlanta's terms a little bit more. So yeah, that's kind of why I like Devontae Graham, and I definitely am going to target some of these guys like Rozier, Bridges, and Washington in terms of GPPs.
For sure, and what's very intriguing about this team, obviously you said that Charlotte's the slowest paced team, but they're also playing one of the highest paced teams, so their over-under went from, what do they average? I think it was like 102, 101, and now they're at 108.75, so a good pace-up spot for these guys, and their price tags did not get an increase with that. So you look at Devontae Graham, 6.4, not much of an increase anyway. Miles Bridges 5.5. You look down this roster, 4.5, 6.6 for Terry Rozier. So, and then PJ Washington 5.6. So if these guys do hit this over under and they even go over it, it could pay off for you. I like these. I like their upside. I don't like their ownership. It looks like the field is thinking the same thing as us. It looks like the percentage ownership actually went up in general. So you're going to go Milwaukee for your what's up?
I haven't updated my ownership.
Yeah, it's showing 31% for Graham. I suspect that. And pretty much the entire roster sitting between 20 and 30%. So
I got 40.
Yeah, Milwaukee, you are starting there with your core, but then it's like, where do you go after that? I think that you either go Charlotte, and we're going to talk about the other team we're going to go, but Charlotte's the most obvious plays, just because even if they underperform, their players are in pretty good positions with their price tags. You should get there. They should hit value. Starting with Devontae Graham being my favorite, Miles Bridges going down the list, they're pretty much all the same. I think Terry Rozier is your outside GPP option just because of his price tag. We know Terry Rozier is not that great of a fantasy point per minute for his price tag, and then PJ Washington down at the bottom here, strictly just GPP. And let's go to Atlanta. So Atlanta flipping on the other side of the ball. TJ, we talked about Trae Young. Is there anybody else that really interests you from this roster?
Yeah, John Collins. Even at 9K, again, bigs against Charlotte is what we like to try and target when we can. So I definitely like John Collins tonight, even at his price tag at 9. I don't think I've seen him at 9K.
Yeah,
this year.
I mean,
9-1 against Cleveland. Yeah, he's been the high 8, so this is the second highest tag he's had so far this year. But even so, against Charlotte bigs, I definitely like John Collins in this matchup. I think he might honestly be my favorite spend up tonight. Currently, besides Middleton, if you want to count him at 6.76. But yeah, that's kind of where my eyes are going. I think I'd rather go John Collins tonight over Trae Young. Save that 1,300 and spend elsewhere. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I definitely like John Collins in the matchup against those Hornets bigs. But besides that, again, I don't really have too much interest. Maybe take the chance on a guy like Dwayne Dedmon if he starts at center, which I assume he will. I'm pretty sure we actually got the confirm. Yeah, we did. So I wouldn't mind taking a chance at Dedmon as a GPP play, but not for cash. So Collins is definitely the guy for cash that I'm looking at.
Yeah, for sure. I think Dedmon actually becomes a more intriguing option, TJ, for JVP, showing at 14% ownership, which is actually pretty crazy. I think he should be a little bit higher owned just because, 4.1, you're getting a discount on that. I guess because there's so many value plays there in Milwaukee, but I definitely like him as a GPP play. Cam Reddish, I'm going to go away from him just because it's going to be a pace down spot for these guys. Trae Young, obviously pay up option. There's going to be more ownership on him just because stars and scrubs, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people doing that. And then John Collins, like you mentioned, 9K is not crazy because I'm looking here at this previous contest, with the exception of the one game where he dropped a dud. 49, 47, 50, 55 are all hitting that 9K price tag. So again, a prime matchup for John Collins. I completely agree with you. I think if you're going to take somebody from this team, you're going to look at John Collins and obviously Trae Young with the pay up option. Dwayne Dedmon being a decent GPP option for sure.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Going over to Toronto, we got the late-breaking injury news that Toronto ruled out Van Vliet and Gasol. Not too much of a surprise because they've been ruled out. I think Gasol played last game, if I'm right. Hernandez has been out for them for a while, which doesn't really impact the slate too much in general, or this team. But it looks to me like there's only one player that really stands out because of these injuries. Everybody's price tags are adjusted just because of the injuries. Serge Ibaka topping the list. Obvious play, 31% owned. Should be pretty chalky. 5.6, obviously, 30 minutes. Or is there anybody else that you're going to be looking from this roster? Looking at from this roster?
No, not for cash. It would just be Ibaka. At 5.9, that's too cheap without his backup Gasol. Averages 1.1 fantasy points per minute with Gasol and Van Vliet off the court. 23.4% usage rate. So at sub 6, I definitely like Ibaka for cash. So tonight, I think is kind of tough because the center position is pretty stacked. So you got Ibaka and you got Brook Lopez, and that's the route I think I'm going to take. But if you do that, you kind of pin yourself because you can't pay up for Nikola Jokic or Rudy Gobert. So you can only play 2. You only got center and util. All 4 of those guys only have center eligibility. Yeah, and Dedmon for GPPs. Yeah, so it's tough. You can only take 2 of those 4. So, I kind of think that's going to make or break a lot of people tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be hard to differentiate yourself. I think in the center position too. You could easily go Gobert, and even though I'm not that much of a Gobert fan, let's go ahead and switch over to Utah. Utah in general has a lot of underpriced people. Mike Conley, 5.3, has been bouncing around in that 5K range. 5.7, this is going to be a slight pace-up spot for Utah, actually. 115 is actually not bad. And you think of Utah, you think of Toronto, you think good defense, but it's been the opposite for these guys. They're just so balanced at this point. I feel like, adding Mike Conley and Clarkson to this picture really boosts their offensive production here with Utah. So I like Conley. Clarkson, outside GPP option for sure. 4.2K, you obviously can't argue with Clarkson's production, even playing 24 minutes. Of course, if Mike Conley starts, I like him a lot more. He should start. Gobert, 35 minutes, 7.9, obviously a good matchup for him. And then Mitchell here at 7.5 also is sitting in that 7K range. I've talked about it all season long. Utah's price tags are way too high, and they're finally coming down. I like them to take advantage of this over-under. If they go over 115, this could easily pay off for you. Even Bogdanovich sitting here. They are all great GPP options. And just GPP, because I'm not going to lock and load anybody from this roster. Like I said, they're all so good that you can't really pick. They're like the Celtics. You can't really just decide who's going to do good on any given night. They're all in fairly decent matchups. If I had to pick one player, I'm going to go with Mike Conley, but again, it's tough. Like I can't easily pick out anybody from this roster. TJ, are you going to be targeting anybody from cash from this roster?
Yeah, I really like Donovan Mitchell. I also like Mike Conley, and I like Rudy Gobert. I mean, I even like Bogdanovich too. So I think it's a pretty good matchup against Toronto. Toronto actually plays faster on the road, and Utah also plays faster at home. So I think this over should hit. I kind of like it as like a sneaky bet. I'm not going to put it out there, so please don't quote me on that, guys, because I don't want to hear like you lost me money. But yeah, so I actually think there's a pretty good amount of cash plays in this game on the Utah side, and I think a lot of them are going to carry a decent amount of ownership. For me, I think it's paying up for Donovan Mitchell. I definitely like him at 7.5. I also really like Mike Conley at 5.3, but I think I would rather spend up to Donovan Mitchell tonight just because we have that option because of those cheap guys from Milwaukee. So Donovan Mitchell is the guy I'm targeting. Again, I really like the Gobert matchup, but I can only roster 2 centers. So Brook Lopez is a lock for me, so I'm definitely going to roster him. So it's one of Gobert, Nikola Jokic, and Serge, and right now all signs point to Serge for me. So unfortunately, I'll have to bypass Rudy Gobert. But yeah, I think Donovan Mitchell is cash viable. I also think Conley is cash viable, and I mean even Bogdy and Gobert, I think they're both cash viable as well. So I don't hate any of those 4.
It's tough because on the slate there's so many good mid-tier, I guess you could say upper mid-tier and very top elite pay-up options. It's just going to be about deciding which one you're going to pick from. We're going to kind of help do that. I'm going to build 150 lineups because I haven't yet with this updated ownership, so that's going to tell a lot of where I'm going to go. But guys, we got through the slate pretty quick. I knew this would happen, so we're going to open up the rest of the 14 minutes for questions, and we're also going to break down the slate. TJ's going to give his cash plays in just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm breaking down my own favorite plays here. Got to go to my calculator. My favorite thing to do at the end of the slate with updated ownership. So bear with me, guys.
I got to tweet something out. I'm going to rifle off some of these questions.
Yeah, I'm about to give you a rough overview of the slate, guys. Also, if you're new to the stream, please hit that subscribe button. We've been getting a lot of subscribers lately, so really appreciate all the support. Guys, show your support in the chat by asking any questions. Again, we love answering all your questions. We love answering questions in the video and here in the chat. Of course, the live stream is where it's at, guys. If you haven't already, again, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Really appreciate all your support.
I love answering your guys' questions. It's like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, I do too because you know what? You open up a lot of other options that I don't even think about by answering these questions.
I said nothing but net. The best way to differentiate yourself tonight in GPPs is legitimately fading Middleton. Now, it's the dumbest thing you can do, but you will have so much leverage in the field. God forbid it is a blowout and Middleton plays 25 minutes. So,
all right.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's a good way.
TJ, before you answer any more questions, I want you to give a cash overview of the slate. I see somebody in the chat just he said that he'd missed the entire stream. So let's go ahead and give a rough overview.
Okay, so rough overview. How many bucks can you fit into a lineup? I want to fit at least 4. Right now, my current cash locks are going to be Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, Brook Lopez, and Serge Ibaka. Those would be my 4. And I also like Devontae Graham. It is tough to try and figure out who you want to spend up for. I feel like a lot of people will spend up for Nikola Jokic and Trae Young just because they can. I personally would rather go to John Collins. So that's kind of where I'm currently leaning toward in cash. So like I said, Middleton, Dante, Ibaka, and Brook Lopez would be my 4 locks.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very straightforward, guys. I'm showing 100% exposed to Middleton, and that's with me having randomness on. Okay, that's literally having me randomness on, and I'm usually never that aggressive. It just goes to show you how good of a play he is. So if you're going to differentiate yourself, you're going to either go all in on Middleton or you're going to go under the field. Right now, he's projected at 74% owned. DiVincenzo, obviously a very, very good play. He's only showing at 41%, TJ, which is actually kind of surprising. You think that he'd step? Yeah, he's only showing at in tournaments 41. So I'm going to be overweight on him. Connaughton's
that's got to fix itself. There's no way he's going to.
This is most updated version. I can update it again, but Connaughton is showing at 15%. I think that's my favorite GPP option on the slate here. Connaughton at 3K, near bottom of the barrel price tag. I think he's 3.1, right? 3.0.
Connaughton? Yes.
No. Yeah, Connaughton, sorry. 74%. Actually, they did update the ownership, but it didn't change on DiVincenzo, so that's kind of funny. So, yeah, everything stayed the same. So, I'm going back to my page here. DiVincenzo, Connaughton is my favorite GPP option just because of the percentage ownership is so low. Brook Lopez is only showing 23. I'm telling you that right now that if you don't stack Milwaukee, you're doing it wrong, first of all, and GPPs and in cash. These guys are showing very low on ownership. If they go over 107, which is a projected over-under, and these price tags obviously aren't going to change, it is a huge amount of leverage. Kyle Lowry we haven't touched base on. Does get a slight boost in usage here with Van Vliet and Gasol off the court, so I actually like him here at 14%. He's actually showing at 14%. Yet another option to pay up for. 8K. Obviously, he's been doing really, really well without Van Vliet. So I like him. Should be a competitive game versus Utah. We haven't touched base on, which is why I like him. Donovan Mitchell, obviously, we've already talked about. Devontae Graham's right in there. Jokic. But to talk about my favorite GPP options, Connaughton, Lopez. I guess you can even throw DiVincenzo in there. Lowry. Those are my favorite GPP options on the entire slate. So, guys, Milwaukee. That's all we're going to say. Milwaukee. All right. If I had to describe the slate, it's going to be Milwaukee. GPPs and cash. All right. So let's go ahead and go through these questions, TJ. About 10 minutes, and then we will go ahead and take a mini break, and we'll come back, and then we'll answer any last-minute questions. There shouldn't be too many questions. Like I said, it's very straightforward.
Yeah, guys, and remember, only a 3-game slate, so tread lightly a little bit. We're not playing a 10-game slate, so don't be throwing as much as you normally would. Matt, I'm going to start at the top with some of these questions.
All right, I'll go to the bottom then.
Wesley Matthews, question mark. Definitely a GPP play. The minutes will be there. His fantasy point per minute is not. He's only a 0.6 fantasy point per minute, even with Giannis and even with Bledsoe off the court. So not in love with him, but GPPs for sure. Mitchell and PJ or Collins and Clarkson GPP. I'd go Collins and Clarkson.
I have a question from Jason Martinez, which is I think his name's Martinez in our Discord. What qualifier are you playing tonight, TJ?
Probably not. I did do a $4 one yesterday. I made my lineup when I was on the golf course. And then my phone died, so I don't think I didn't do well. See, and that's it's so crazy how bad you can do when you don't do research opposed to how well you can do when you do research.
Yeah.
Like I have so many buddies that hit me up that are like, "Hey, how's this lineup look?" I'm like, "That is disgusting. Where'd you even come up with that?" And they're just your everyday guys that like to watch basketball. Yeah. You're not putting and actually doing research. Like your lineup is going to be abysmal. So yesterday I was doing a little bit of drinking, was golfing. I was like, I'm just going to do a lineup because I can't go a day without playing DraftKings. And I got trouble. So that's what happened.
And you got to think a majority of these DraftKings players are casuals that do that. I mean, they'll take a good look at roto grinders or whatever tools out there that you can possibly look at, and they'll pick those plays. But usually they aren't really that creative plays. That's why we dive in deeper. Yeah. All right, missed pretty much the whole stream. Few of your top GPP plays. Okay, well I just went over them. DiVincenzo, Connaughton, Brook Lopez, and Lowry. Again, just because their percentage ownership is so low, you got to throw Middleton in the mix too, just as a core play.
Trae Young or Jokic GPPs? I'd go Jokic. Norman Powell or DiVincenzo? DiVincenzo.
Locks for single entry. You got to go with the Bucks, starting with Middleton, DiVincenzo, Brook Lopez is in there. And then Devontae Graham, I believe TJ talked. Oh, and Ibaka. Ibaka's in there.
Millsap, any love? Definitely for GPPs, yeah, for sure. I mean, you're going to have to stay away from some people tonight and to try and be different. Like I said, I'm going to say it again, Matt, you guys shouldn't actually do this, but maybe in like one lineup, fade Middleton. Just do it. Just in one. I mean, he's going to snap. He's in a big grade.
Injuries.
Yeah, like God forbid something does happen to him, knock on wood, hope it doesn't because they're kind of getting decimated a little bit with injuries. Yeah, you never know. So
OG or Barton for GPP? I'll say I don't know. That's a good question. I'll say Barton.
Yeah, I'd go Barton.
Y'all consider Gobert? Absolutely. Gobert's one of the many center options on the slate. Gobert's in a good spot along with all these other guys. However, our favorite options are Brook Lopez, Ibaka, and Jokic is going to be up there as well.
Would you play Dedmon and Collins in the same lineup? In a GPP, yeah. I mean, Bigs against Charlotte, man, it's a great team to target. So I really like the spot that Collins is in, and if Dedmon can play 24 minutes, I definitely like him too.
I actually really like that line because you're essentially hedging against your luck. Let's say Collins gets in foul trouble. Dedmon is going to step it up and be a monster.
Every single time we take him, he gets in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Every single time. He's obsessed with it.
Thanks on the Millsap, and I faded Middleton 2 of the 5 and only 1 in FanDuel. Now, you got to keep in mind... Oh, FanDuel. I don't know his ownership in FanDuel, but you got to keep in mind he's 74% owned. So that would hurt you if you're 60% owned on Middleton. Just letting you know if he does well.
5,200 in guard GPP. I mean, if I'm assuming you have DiVincenzo. So I won't say Dante at 4.8. Yeah, I'd probably try and take somebody out and get Conley at 5.3. I don't hate Ingles at 5.1, but I mean, besides that, you're going to have to leave quite a bit on the table and pay down for somebody like Cam Reddish at 4.5 or Gary Harris at 4.4. So if you're comfortable leaving a lot on the table, I think going down and actually getting Jordan Clarkson at 4.2 would probably be your best bet.
Favorite GPP centers. So there are 4 centers here at the top. Jokic, Ibaka, and Gobert are showing the highest owned. Lopez is showing the 4th lowest, which is actually surprising, so I'll consider him a GPP option. Dedmon, we've already talked about, and PJ Washington are my favorite GPP centers.
I wouldn't hate taking a shot with, like, Cody Zeller. I mean...
Yeah, that too. He's down there.
Pretty low owned. But I think Dedmon would probably be my GPP guy, just in terms of ownership and opportunity against Charlotte Biggs. Ankur asked where my neck pillow was. I knew I was forgetting something.
Yeah.
Siakam ownership. What are we showing Siakam ownership at?
Good question. Let me look.
Probably
refresh the page too, so I can make sure I'm getting updated.
Right now on GPP, so probably like 30-ish in cash.
Siakam is 18.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, you did?
You seriously couldn't hear me because
I thought you said 30.
No. I love that you were so focused on finding that you completely even blocked out me saying it.
Yeah,
because you're multitasking.
That meant something outside the door, so that's what it was.
You said 18, so probably.
Okay.
Probably 13 cash.
Got it.
Kyle Korver projected at 14 minutes right now, so yeah, he'll probably play 15. I guess you could put that as a pretty safe number. He could come in and bury some threes.
Sam will drop 40 tonight. Yeah, this is a night where it could definitely be possible. Again, we talked about how good of a fantasy point per minute player he is with all these injuries off the court. But again, it's the minutes. It's like ever since Williams has been inserted into the lineup, he hasn't been getting that much of a run. Before that trade or before that move for Milwaukee, I would have been all over Ilyasova tonight. But again, just the minutes kind of scare me.
I keep seeing Bridges or Herter in cash. I would go Bridges.
Appreciate that shout out, Juan. Thankful for you guys. Always a fun stream. Really appreciate that comment. Really, really do. We try to keep it fun.
Bridges is really cheap at 5.5 in this matchup.
Yep, I like Bridges and GPPs.
He's really cheap.
How do you guys feel about not having Jokic or Young in GPPs? Definitely, or just in general. Like I said, there's a ton of good mid-tier options. A good way to differentiate yourself is not having one of those two because it's going to be like a stars and scrubs kind of night. So, I mean, I don't hate it. In cash, I don't know. It's like Jokic is showing such a good percentage that it's almost really, really hard to fade him in cash.
Test, you're welcome. Brian D, Mitchell, Graham, or Rozier, Lowry for cash. I would go Mitchell, Graham.
Yes, I agree with that. Fat Boy or Gobert? So you're talking about Jokic. Depends because Jokic...
He's calling him Fat Boy.
He always does. Or Buffet Boy.
He lost some weight. Dude, at the beginning of the season, he was a wagon.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Dude.
I mean, I love Jokic just as a basketball player because he looks so unathletic, but he's so good. I love players like that. I'm going to have to prefer Jokic just because of ownership. I mean, Gobert and Jokic are pretty much in the same kind of ideal matchup, so I got to go with ownership there. Jokic.
What do you think about Powell with Van Vliet out? I mean, we've seen Powell and OG with Van Vliet and Gasol off the court. We've seen him have monstrous games. So I definitely like Powell as a GPP play. Definitely. Lowry Connaughton or Graham Powell.
Lowry, Connaughton.
If that's for cash, yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think you're. Oh God, because I really like Graham.
I love Connaughton tonight.
I know. I think your safer play is probably Graham and Powell, but I mean that's. Yeah, I don't know. Take that. I think safer is Graham and Powell. Matt thinks Lowry and Connaughton. I like both those combos.
Of course, I'm thinking GPPs, so that's just where my mind goes. Single entry: Conley, DiVincenzo, Middleton, Zeller, Jokic, Lowry, Pat. What's Pat? Connaughton, Ibaka. I like that. Yeah, that's a good lineup.
Where are you reading that?
I can't read his name.
Oh, I see it. Malaya,
yeah. Raul.
Wow. Sorry, we are not. That was a terrible attempt.
Joe Ingles looks like a classic white guy who plays basketball. See, that's why I like Utah. I like a lot of their players. Bogdanovich in the same boat there, too.
Is Bledsoe officially out? He's still doubtful. So, I mean, if Bledsoe plays, you're obviously going to want to put him in your lineup. But I assume he sits. So,
is Bledsoe officially ruled out? He's doubtful.
I just said that.
I know. I was waiting for you to say that.
You're sorry.
That's why I paused. I was waiting for you. I was waiting for your reaction.
I was so mad, but I held it in. I was gonna wait till we got off stream. I was gonna yell at you. Conley, Harris, or Clarkson, GPP. Ooh, Conley. I like Clarkson too. I'd go Conley.
I like both those guys,
especially if he starts. What's Trey's ownership? 31% in GPPs. I mean, this could be a real good.
What's Trey's ownership? 31%. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. That was the last time I'll do it.
With Gasol out. Oh, yeah, Boucher. He's actually going to be my pump play tonight. He's 3,500. I mean, no, he's not going to get like a significant amount of minutes, but we've seen him come in and play well and actually get an uptick in minutes. With no Gasol, he's currently projected at 14. I mean, if he comes in and just plays, average, no energy, something like that, he'll probably only play like 10, 12 minutes. But if he can come in and make a difference, especially maybe if they put him out there against Gobert for a run and he plays well, he could definitely see 16, 18 minutes. And he's a very productive fantasy point per minute player. So at 2%, I'm definitely going to have some exposure to him in GPPs.
It is 7:01. I just saw the time. Guys, I'm going to have to cut you off just because I'm going to have to go make my lineups. Again, we will be back in 15 minutes to answer any last-minute questions. Shouldn't be too many questions. Again, it's very straightforward unless Bledsoe gets ruled in the game. That's the only thing that can really change the slate at this point. So, guys, we will be back in about 15 minutes. I'm cutting you off, TJ. No more questions.
I was going to answer one. Okay. Sorry, guys. Love you. We'll be back.
him, I'm back strong. I'm back strong.
Come back to you guys, and this is the music that's playing. It's not that bad, actually.
What was it?
Why are you asking me the name of these songs? I don't even know. I don't know anything.
Techno? Was it like?
You can still hear it.
I can't hear it.
Going.
I have to mute the stream.
I mean, it's like a little bit of rock and techno. It's not bad. Oblivion is what it's called.
Sorry, guys. If your ears are bleeding, you can thank Matthew. Oh, I can't wait for the players. Guys, cashed in MMA and golf this weekend. So
yeah. Oh, we are doing very well here at Daily Grind, guys. If you haven't already, grab a subscription. You know, if you're all about making your own lineups, it's like my Patreon page. But if you want to enter cash lineups in sports you don't know about, we have analysts that do that for you. So again, on dailygrindfantasy.com is where we provide that. Wesley gonna bombs away. Yeah, no, I like Wesley Matthews as a GPP play, and I also like Connaughton. Connaughton's a better fantasy point per minute player, which is the only reason why I like him more. But I do like Wesley Matthews as well.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Wesley Matthews came out and hit some threes. And Paid off his price tag immensely.
Way too much usage to go around. Also, the ownership did get updated, guys. DiVincenzo's a little bit higher on, but still not as much as he should be. He should step into the place of Bledsoe. Bledsoe was around 60% earlier. DiVincenzo's only 49. So, again, I don't get it. Jokic's ownership went down 3%, not much. Again, all these are barely doing anything. I'm going to break down all my favorite plays again. 150 lineups. Again, it shouldn't change. The slate should not change. Again, it's Milwaukee and fillers. That's what it's going to look like. All right, let's go ahead and start answering some questions. Guys, feel free to enter any questions you have into the chat. Again, this is Q&A time for the next 13 minutes. You guys get to see us panic for the last 13 minutes about contest selection and all that good stuff. PJ or Bridges? I like Bridges.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say now I have Bridges in one of my GPP lineups.
I just did.
And yeah, I actually have the exact same picture before or after here. So I have Middleton, DiVincenzo, Lopez, Connaughton, Lowry at the top of the list here. GPP rank in order from favorite: Graham, Lowry, Mitchell, Conley, Clarkson. Oh wow, you want us to rate all that. Also, is Pat a core play? He's definitely not a core play, but he's a great GPP play. You can include him in your cash lineup. I'm not against that, but again, I'm looking towards Middleton, DiVincenzo, Lopez, and Connaughton. Girlfriend is cooking, so that's why the fire alarm's going off. It usually does.
And I'll rank those GPPs in order, Matt, if you don't want to. I would say, in terms of GPPs, I would go Mitchell, Graham, Conley, Lowry, Clarkson.
I'm going to say...
It's kind of all over the place because you got a bunch of guys that are completely different price.
Based on value and ownership taking into consideration, I'm not looking at my sheet right now, but I know that Lowry's right there at the top. I like Graham, Conley, Mitchell, Clarkson. But again, they're all great. Like, they're all great plays.
Tupac or Biggie? Oof. Take Biggie. Sprite or Coke? Oof. I don't drink soda. Soda's bad for you, Honker. Don't drink soda. Young Connaughton or Mitchell Powell? I think I'd rather go Mitchell Powell. I mean, Connaughton's great. You laughing at Sano?
I'm laughing at everybody's comments. She couldn't hear because she's on the phone too. So
Sano thought that his fire alarm was going off. Zeller or Brooke Lopez? 100%.
Oh yeah, Brooke Lopez is one of my favorite plays on the slate.
Harris or Clarkson? Clarkson and Mitchell in the same lineup. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Utah is projected highest over under, I believe. So upside with them for sure. I thought my girl must have been cooking. Nope, just mine.
Rozier or Powell? Ooh. Probably. I mean, I like Powell more than Rozier. Matt will probably tell you Rozier.
I only like Rozier because, again, all these price tags are intriguing for Charlotte. And Rozier's at 26%. Well, you know what? Powell's interesting too. I could get behind either one of them. Oh my gosh.
Cooking is hard, guys. Let's give Matt's girlfriend a break. All right, we've all been there. We've all set off fire alarms. All right, whether we want to admit it or not, we've all been in this situation.
Oh my gosh, I never set off the fire alarm when I cook.
Take some lessons. I mean, what's going on? What is she making first and foremost?
Hey, I'm still on stream.
Graham or Rozier? Graham. Lopez or Gobert? I mean, that's just two completely, like, that's a $3,000 price difference. I like Lopez. Save the money. Gary Harris, not a big fan, but I could definitely see him as a GPP play tonight.
Yeah, I like him as a GPP play. I mean, always at that 4K price tag, I really like him with his minutes, and 3% ownership, he's virtually unowned.
So no, I like it. Demon Bridges or Barton Lopez? Can you go Lopez and Bridges? Because that would be my.
Yeah, I like that.
Based on the prices, I think you should be able to go Bridges and Lopez. I'd rather go that. But if I had to pick one, I think I'd go. I don't even know because I like Lopez so much. So, but if I had to rank those, it would go Lopez, Bridges, Dedmon, Barton. So.
I tell you what, I got madness going on in my house right now. We got Ellie barking, we got Carl barking, we got the fire alarms going off. I don't know what downstairs is going to look like. I'm afraid to get off stream, guys. I'm going to stay as long as I can.
I'm leaving. I'm not leaving. Oh, that contest did fill up. Wow, it filled up quick.
Oh, yeah, I need to check on my esports I was running earlier.
DiVincenzo, Middleton, Pat, Brooks, Lowry, Ibaka, Barton, Collins, single entry. I like it.
Ooh, not bad.
Like it. I think Barton's your one guy that'll make or break you in that lineup. Carl, no. Bridges or Bogdan?
Thank you, Adrian, for the subscription.
Like them both a lot. I think Bogdan. I don't know, man. See that mid tier with like Bridges and like Bogdan is just.
You could go anywhere, man.
Yeah, like Barton, like they're all good plays. I think I'd probably go Bogdan.
Honestly, I have a good feeling if I was a betting man, please don't go and bet this. I like Denver to hit the over because Middleton just straight up, man, when he gets the ball, he just fires. Like, I like their pace to be picked up a little bit in Denver. I really do. I like some of the, if I'm going to be targeting anybody from that game, like I said, I like Gary Harris. He's virtually unowned. I mean, why not? Millsap, Barton, for sure. Which is why I like Jokic so much too. Just not only because of his ownership, but because he has tremendous upside tonight.
I mean, yeah, some of these high priced guys, like Lowry at 15% at 8.4, like, yeah, it's pretty good on this type of slate. Like Jamal at 13%, that's pretty good. Barton's only 14%. PJ Washington 12. Ingles 9. Like Ingles could go hit some shots.
Jokic or Young is your spend up of, I think you guys know, Jokic probably just because he's safer. Again, Trae Young strictly based on his shooting. They're going to be going on against a pace down team. Jokic in a prime matchup, pace up spot for them, actually. So again, Jokic is your safer option. Thank you so much, 7 Figs, for the subscription. Really appreciate that.
Bismack Biyombo is showing 0.25% ownership. He hasn't played in the last 3 games. He's in the player pool tonight. If he sees the court, man, against Atlanta.
Man, you love Biyombo. I like Biyombo too.
No, but I'm just the minutes. Just
TJ, Bridges, Barton, PJ, or Bogdan. That's for you, not me.
Must
hate me.
It'd be Bridges or Bogdan. I can narrow it down to that. I'd go Bogdan.
I like Collins better than Jokic and Trae. Am I crazy? Absolutely not. I mean, as far as value, if you're just going to pick him straight up, I think Jokic is going to be your option. However, Collins could easily outscore him tonight. And a great matchup.
WS, I like Collins better than Jokic and Trae Young tonight too. So,
yeah, I think it goes, I mean, as far as value, Collins, Jokic, Trae Young for me. Of course, it's going to probably be reversed, so that's cool. I mean, it could easily be Trae Young. Trae Young, we know he can do good things. PJ Washington, question mark. Yeah, I like Charlotte, and I'm getting close to lock here now, so I'll give you guys some inside information. I really like Charlotte as a stack because they've been playing at a high pace going against Atlanta. I do like some of their players that cover their price tags by far. Again, I think Graham's going to be the best option from that team.
And I think I'd rather go Bridges over PJ Washington, but I think they're both pretty good. Matt, see, now you made Ronnie apologize.
No, do you know what? I was totally kidding.
Don't apologize to him. He's being sensitive.
I'm being sensitive. I am being sensitive.
Don't let his sensitive.
I'm being sensitive because my food downstairs is burned. That's why I'm sensitive.
Food's burnt, so. Feeling a takedown for someone, eh? So no, I like that. Deep down in the plums, you're feeling a takedown. I like that, man. I hope somebody has a takedown. I hope it's not me that has to go through heartbreak again tonight because Saturday was I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about it. You want to know the funniest thing is? You guys want to know who I would have brought down with me? Because it was a trip. The trip to Jersey, it was 4 free nights for 2. It was gonna be Matt and
I didn't know it was 4 2. I thought you were just gonna invite me.
No, it was a trip for 4 nights, paid hotel,
cute.
for 2 people. Amanda couldn't go because she's school. I could have taken off work, and I would have flown you down, and it would have been we would have been doing vlogs, like just streaming
so much
all
content.
Day.
You guys will love that, right?
I would have been betting, just getting absolutely annihilated in the contest, like just smoke.
I think. Well, didn't the last place still win $10,000? You would have still made money, right?
No, the payouts were pretty brutal, to be honest with you. Like
really?
It was only like, I think it was like if there were 560 people, only the top 25 cash. So it was going to be very difficult to cash.
Yeah.
But it would have been a blast.
Yeah, it would have been so fun, and we'd have had a lot of content. But guys, we do plan on doing that at some point in the future. Like, just because TJ decides to choke in one contest doesn't mean he's going to choke in all these other contests. I mean, come on.
Ronnie, I'd go Bogdan, man.
Sponsored by White Claw, yes.
I wish one day.
Do you find your bigger wins work on contrarian plays? That's the way to go for me. Absolutely. I will talk about this, and it's all right. First of all, for NBA, it's very hard to do because the chalk usually is good chalk. It's easier to do, and again, we've had big GPP takedowns, and TJ just started playing baseball last year, so we'll do it again this season. You can go completely contrarian in sports like baseball, and it pays out so much better for you. So I cannot wait to do that. NBA, guys, it is tough. You have to pay attention to detail. Again, this is why I stick to single entry, like lower tier contests. I don't like entering the 45,000 people contest. It's just so tough to cash. It's so tough to win those because, again, some people in those contests, they're like virtually unowned, and it's like, how would those guys make it into your lineup? But again, a lot of it is luck. But
entering the 45,000 people contest is legitimately the best thing you can do. Continue to do it, guys. Slam those contests.
TJ, that's all he enters, I feel like.
I have some really good luck in those contests. So, no, yeah, you feel me. Yeah, dude, that's my hate for JaVale McGee, who couldn't get one rebound in the last 6 minutes and 4 seconds of that game against Orlando. And he cost me 10 grand. So I feel your pain.
Vlog bros. We will be vlog bros as long as we can.
We'd be like cool. We wouldn't be like douchey vlog bros. I hope I can say that.
Guys, look at me drink 15 beers at one time.
Bogdanovich for GPPs. I mean, OG. I really do like Bogdy tonight. I do. I think he's in a good spot. So I'd say Bogdanovich, but we know what OG's been able to do sometimes with Gasol and VanVleet off the court. So
George Hill's out, is he not?
He is too.
Okay, yeah, George Hill's not a good play, guys.
Conley over Clarkson.
2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Again, fire away any last minute questions. I know you guys are looking at contests. I can give you some good ones. Why don't I do that?
I'm 1,000% gonna enter another qualifier. Don't
do $400, please.
Nope. The same exact one that I entered in one to get that $400 ticket is 6 out of 12 people. $37. I legitimately, if it stays at 6, I'm gonna do it.
Stack Milwaukee.
No, I'm gonna use my lineup.
Somebody needs to take a screenshot of what my reaction to that was.
What, stack Milwaukee?
Just everything that just happened.
I only have 50% of Middleton.
All right, guys. There's a three entry, $15 max. Only 117 people. Perfect contest center. There's only 30 seconds left, so I'm trying to fire them away. There's a bunch of qualifiers. There's actually a ton. I think I might enter one.
Don't enter the one that I'm going to do, because if you win, then I'll be. Imagine if you, because you bring Paige over me. So no said. Hopefully your food's okay. I hope it's burnt. Yeah, I'm entering the $37.
$4 one. You did the 37.
Yep. Oh, you entered the $4 one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oops, I'm gonna beat you. Sorry.
Whatever. I don't even know. I have two lineups I entered tonight, so we'll see which one I even entered.
Honestly, I don't even know which probably should have entered the. Is there just one per? Oh, okay.
I should cash in esports, by the way. Pretty easy.
Matt, you gave you already announced the winner for the CJ card, correct?
Yeah. I did that in. Oh yes, Golden Guardians got upset. That's huge.
What?
Nothing. Esports. Sneaky Amish did. Yeah, we already posted the giveaway Patreon. So guys, I actually announced my other card giveaway for Friday. If you guys aren't signed up for Patreon, again, we're doing a donation giveaway. So only people who donate are entered into the exclusive giveaway. I'm actually going to be doing a card pull at sometime this week. I'm going to be opening up. I'll pull it up here. A brand new. It's actually just released a Topps baseball pack. So again, to celebrate the season opening for MLB, there is at least 3 autographed cards in here. Okay. So could be pretty cool. Could be a nice giveaway. I'll be giving away that card. Again, if you haven't joined Patreon, there's an exclusive giveaway link in there. So go ahead and just, if you guys and they're $5. Again, it supports the stream. It enters you in for a giveaway. And again, we can't appreciate the support enough, guys. I will be giving away a card from this pack for sure, and maybe even more. So again, it depends on the pools. I'm not keeping anything, I promise. Like if there's a $1 million card in here, I'm still giving it away. All right, seriously, I'm doing the whole giveaway on the video. So, or I'm doing the whole opening on the giveaway. The whole opening on the video. Goodness. I also have a whole deck of cards here. If you guys looked at my last opening, I'm going to start to do these more. There's a lot of cards in here actually worth some decent amount of money. There's a lot of rookie cards, so feel free to ask for any of them. I'm giving them away for free.
All right, Matt, you ready?
Yeah.
Guess that ownership.
Guess that ownership. We need to cut screen. All right. Who first?
We're going to do the $25 because that's the one I always like to look at first. The $25 single entry double up out of 919 people, okay? I currently rostered Graham and Collins. I'm going to say Graham is 45%.
Oh, that's a good guess.
And I'm going to say Collins is 36.
Those are good guesses. I'm going to say 42 on Graham. And for Collins, yikes, I'm going to say 21.
What did I say for Graham?
45.
45 and then 36 Collins? Okay.
Yeah, I said 42 for Graham.
Oh, okay. Well, we were Graham, 69.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Collins, 22.
21. Let's go.
That was a fantastic. He's actually 21.98. So that was a great guy.
Look at that. I should deserve something. I should get a card giveaway here. Hold on.
You could keep one of your cards.
Yeah, I get to keep one of my cards.
Okay, now I'm going to look at the $50 single entry now with all the Sharks. Let's see what do we got. I'm going to say Graham's a little bit lower. I'm going to say Collins a little bit higher.
Wait, say that again? Which contest is that?
The $50 single entry with all the Sharks.
Graham's going to be higher, I think.
Yeah, he was. He's at 75.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a lot of Zellers. Zellers at 31%. Higher owned than John Collins.
Really?
Yes.
I'll be interested to see Milwaukee's ownership. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I'm very heavy on Milwaukee.
Chipotle has Bridges, 38%. Zeller, 31%. And, yeah, Graham, 75. All right, so I'm going to take his money. All right, I got to go eat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. I got to go eat some burnt salmon.
Fantastic night. Hope somebody has a takedown. Yeah.
Yeah, guys. All right. Have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be a bigger slate, so we will be posting an early morning video and stream tomorrow. So, again, guys, appreciate all the support. Have a good night. Let's cash.
Love you guys.